So now, children, we are going to learn a wonderful lesson, the elixir of life. Okay. The elixir of life, that is lesson number second. The elixir of life. Page number 17. Elixir of life. When you read the word elixir, what comes to your mind? What is the meaning of the word elixir here in the title? Children, let me tell you that elixir is divine amrita. Or many times you have heard about a liquid. This is a liquid that transforms the life. This is a liquid that transforms the metals into gold, or this is a life that saves. This is a liquid that saves life. Liquid that saves life, or you can say transforms life. Have you heard about, you must have heard about Amrita. Amrit, opposite of poison, right? Poison kills and Amrita saves the life. Am I right? That is what all of you know about this Amrita. Okay. Now children, let me tell you, this is 5-letter word. What is the 5-letter word? Water. It is a common liquid for you and me. Common liquid. But children, we never ever try to understand the importance of this liquid, because you may survive without food for few days. But children, without water, I challenge you, it is very difficult to survive even for 2-3 days also. It is very difficult. Without food, I heard that people can survive without food for 21 days depending on your health. Without water, it is very difficult even to survive for 2 or 3 days. Children, why the water is called elixir of life? Elixir means that changes something. Elixir means that is survives, helps us survive. You will wonder when you are studying this story of water, you will come to know how water is useful for human life. Not only for human beings, but for entire biosphere or entire, you can say, world. Okay. It is written by C.V. Raman. Let me read about the author. Hope you have heard about C.V. Raman, okay, Nobel laureate. He has won Nobel Prize for Physics in the year 1930. He is a very well-known personality. He was born in the year 1888 and died in the year 1970. He had a keen interest in science even from his boyhood days. For his famous discovery called the Raman effect, you have studied the science Raman effect. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. King George knighted him for his contributions to physics. King George has knighted him. Knighted means he has awarded him, appreciated him for his contribution towards the field of physics. The government of India awarded him the Bharat Ratna, and Soviet Union honored him with International Lenin Prize in the year 1957. Children, Bharat Ratna, C.V. Raman, the author C.V. Raman, a great scientist. C.V. Raman, a great scientist, has been awarded with Bharat Ratna, C.V. The most civilian award, Bharat Ratna in India. Okay, Nobel Prize is world's highest. It means that he has acquired Bharat Ratna also and Nobel also. This will tell you about C.V. Raman itself as a great personality who won Bharat Ratna, and not only Bharat Ratna but Nobel Prize for physics. In this story, I will tell you about how water is very useful. How water is very useful, at the same time it is very destructive. Children, nowadays, yesterday morning news headlines. And you may be knowing the situation in now Maharashtra. The flood situation is there. Many villages are underwater. There is a threat to lives. Like in 2019, in Maharashtra, Kolhapur and Sangli districts have not only Maharashtra. You may see in Uttarakhand, most of the parts of Karnataka also. They have been affected because of this flood water, natural disasters, what we can call. Children, this year also the situation is very worse. The dams have to open their doors, right? And ultimately it will affect the villages, nearby villages. So just I would like to tell you that water helps the people survive. At the same time, water is a destructive force. Water is indeed a destructive force if it is not checked. If it is beyond control, it is destructive. The flood is destructive. Many people have lost their lives till date because of the flood, isn't it? So we are going to study about water as useful as well as destructive, and how we can use the sensible, how we can make the sensible use of water, not only for our own generation but for the generations that are to come. Right? Let me start. It is said that if the Third World War breaks out, it will be for the sake of water. Do you agree? My dear friends, already we have studied about World War First and Second, and also you have come to know the destructive effects of these world wars on not only the humans but also on the entire life. Children, people believe that if there would be Third World War, it will be obviously because of water, because you know that. Children, we never imagined that the water would be one day sold in the bottles. If you ask, if you take the 100 years before, if you just turn back the pages of 100 years before, you may not imagine that the people would ever think that the water would be sold in the bottles for 20 rupees. Children, imagine after some days the water would be sold, it would become so precious. I guarantee that it will match, your jewels, your ornaments, your money will not match the water, because you may not survive. You may survive without all the riches, without the jewels, without the money, without currency, but you may not survive without water. Am I clear? That is the main thing. That's very important aspect. Then the world war, if it has to be break, then it will break for water only. First paragraph, man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrita, to confer mortality. But the true elixir of life lies near to our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. Children, let me tell you two things. Imaginary elixir, imaginary. Still people believe that there is a substance, there is a particular substance that changes the material, the metals into gold. Or there is a liquid that cures all the diseases. If we get this liquid, it is definitely a good sign for the human beings, because people will stop dying. But which is quite impossible nowadays. But still people believe that there is a particular liquid substance called Amrita, divine Amrita, that will help the people to survive for years, for decades, for centuries. Children, always the people have wasted their time in sought. Sought is a past tense of seek. Seek means search. In vain means without any successful result. In vain means uselessly, hopelessly. People have struggled to search that liquid, but they never knew that the liquid or the Amrita that they are searching, it is near their hand, and that is none other than water. What is it? Water is the elixir. True elixir of life is, what is true elixir? True elixir of life is none other than water. And we are searching everywhere. There are so many sayings. Okay, even in Hindi also you have the saying, we have something in our under our armpit and taking the round of the village. So in the same way, the man has not realize the value of this water, and this lesson is probably an eye-opener for you and me, for the generations, isn't it? This is an eye-opener for the generations, so that the people will come to know the true value of water and how carefully we have to use the water. On television, on different channels, you will come to know that there are, government is taking initiative to create awareness among its people regarding the sensible use of water, because nowadays we waste most of the water, and as in history you have studied about, in geography I'm sorry, you have studied about how much water is, only 1% water is drinkable that we can drink on the earth, right? Okay, actually most of the part on the earth is covered by the sea water. So to confer immorality, confer means grant, offer. They believe that this divine Amrita gives the immorality, but the true elixir is there in our hands, and it is very commonest of all liquids, that is plain water. What is the true elixir of life? Plain water. Plain means very clean water, very simple water. Don't go for distilled water, don't go for what you can say processed water. I am talking about plain water is the commonest liquid, and that is the true elixir of life. In second paragraph, C.V. Raman has tried to give you the example of Africa and Egypt. He is standing on the border of Africa and Egypt, and he is one side in African, that the world's largest desert, that is Sahara desert, right? African desert, that is actually Libyan desert, is also a part of the Sahara desert, and another side Nile river. Everyone knows Nile is the longest river in the world, okay? And the civilization of the Egypt has been made only because of the river Nile. Like in India, you have Indus civilization, right? You have studied different civilizations by your geography teacher or SST teacher, isn't it? Second paragraph, I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. Children, he is standing on the border of Egypt and Africa that divides the two countries. On one side was visible sea of billowing sand. Billowing means, you can say, spreading very largely. Children, whenever I am telling you the meanings, please note the meanings. The billowing sand without a speck of green or a single living thing anywhere visible on it, while on the other side lay one of the greenest, most fertile and densely populated areas to be found anywhere on the earth. Children, he is standing on a line where here there is only the sand, desert, and another side there is full, lush green trees are there. Everywhere there is, here there is not a speck of life, there is no symbol, there is no sign of life in Africa desert, and here in the Egypt, because of river Nile, the Egypt has totally, or Nile has changed the face of Egypt, you can say. Teeming with life and vegetation. Teeming with means overflowing or full of. What made this wonderful difference? The author is asking you, what is the difference? What is the difference between the picture number 1 and picture number 2? And obviously the difference is made because of water, because water is a magic, water creates, water performs miracles, water is priceless. You can say so many adjectives you can add for describing water. Children, why is it the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its sources a couple of thousands of miles away? And the author is obviously firm in his opinion that it is only because of the Nile river that is flowing down to the Mediterranean. Where is the river going to meet? Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea is actually, where is it? It is the Atlantic Ocean, connected to Atlantic Ocean between Europe and Africa. This is the exact location of this Mediterranean Sea. So in second paragraph, I hope you have understood water is so important. It can change the what I can say. It can change the surface. It can change. It can create wonders. Third paragraph, geologists tell us that the entire soil of the Nile Valley is the creation of the river itself. Children, geologists means the people or the experts, those who study the soil, right? What they tell? They tell that and you know that when the water is flowing, it carries the soil with it, what we call soil erosion. That is also another part. That is a destructive, actually soil erosion is very destructive force of water that we'll study in the next part. But ultimately it has created the plateau, or you can say that landscape is created only because of the water. Children, it was brought down as the finest silt in its flood waters from the highlands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa, and laid down through the ages in the trough through which, the Nile flows into the sea. Children, just imagine, actually this Egyptian civilization is also made because of the Nile river, because the Nile has been flowing for not only for few years, for ages it has been carrying the silt. Silt means mud, fertile soil you can say, and it is spreading it to make what we have today, what we can see today, Egypt, that is made by Nile. Egypt in fact was made by its river. Underline this sentence because I am sure this sentence is very, very important. You have to explain this sentence into reference to context, right? Egypt in fact was made by its river. What do you mean by that? And another meaning of the word trough. Trough means a long, narrow container, you can say. Long, narrow passage. Right? And Abyssinia is an Ethiopian country, you can see, Ethiopian city. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfalling regularity, because Nile is such a river which always carries the silt to Egypt, and it is really a boon for the country, not only for Egypt but for the entire world. Nile is really a very place of attraction, you can say, or the river that is very important for the people of Egypt, because what today the Egypt or the sustaining life means the kept living, kept alive. Sustained means kept alive. Unfailing regularity means the regularity that never fails. Continuously Egypt is blessed by the river Nile, right? The Nile river plays a very important role in the formation of its civilization. So as every river plays the same part. Fourth paragraph, the author is giving some other examples. I give this example and could give many others to emphasize that this common substance which we take for granted in our everyday life is the most potent and the most wonderful thing on the face of our children. Many times we are taking for granted means we are not giving much importance to this water. We are taking it for granted. We say many times we are telling the people, don't take me for granted, don't take me for granted means don't consider me, don't form opinions about me. Right? And we are taking this water for granted means we are not giving more importance to the water. But children, the author wants to tell you that it has a very potent and wonderful, it is a very potent means, most potent means powerful. You can write the word potent means powerful. P-O-T-E-N-T, potent means powerful. It is the most wonderful thing on the face of the earth. If earth is a face, the water bodies are eyes. It is there, description is there in the next paragraph. You will come to know that. If the earth is compared to our face, our eyes beautify our face. Just imagine if eyes are not there in the face will look very ugly. In the same way, this face is beautified by the water. So water bodies water has importance in so many aspects, not only for quenching the thirst of the people and or living beings, but also water beautifies the landscape. Where there is water, the area will be lavish, green, beautiful. Even the water bodies in the villages, they will give you such a beautiful sight during sunset. Many people gather there because water is a very important aspect of life. It is a part and parcel of our life. Without water, life is impossible on the earth. Am I clear?
Hope you understood. You can study more about water through different sources, but I'm sure this extract itself, 2-3 pages, will definitely open your eyes about what we have to do to safeguard, to preserve the water for the next generations. If we don't do that, it will be very, you can say, unfair. It will be a great selfishness from our end if we are not doing that. Okay. It has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the Earth's history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. Children, you study any history of any country, history of any civilization, history of any race, you will see that water plays a very dominant role in the formation of the civilization, in the formation of the culture, in the formation of the cities, colonies, and I'm sure wherever there are colonies, water is a very important aspect behind it. You cannot imagine the colonies, you cannot imagine the cities and towns where there is not a single drop of water. So children, bear in mind, on the entire planet, water plays very important role in forming the civilizations. Children, page number 18, 5th paragraph. There is nothing which adds so much to the beauty of the countryside as water. Countryside means rural area. Children, remember, countryside means rural area. Right? Rural area. Villages you can take. Countryside is nothing but rural area. Isn't it? So, there is nothing as beautiful as the water. I told you that water is not only useful for quenching the thirst of the living beings, but it beautifies the nature. Let us see how it beautifies the nature. Okay. Be it just a little stream trickling over the rocks, or a little pond made by, pond by the wayside where the cattle quench their thirst of the children. Don't consider whether it is a big or small water body. Even in the small villages, you will have small water bodies, small ponds. But even though they are very beautiful sight when you are seeing the animals quenching their thirst, animals will definitely go and quench their thirst because that is the only support for them. Trickling means flowing very slowly. Okay, and during the evening time, when you are watching the village scene, you will really feel very pleased to see a cattle. Cattle means you know that a cow or a buffalo or any other animal that is quenching its thirst in one of the ponds or water bodies. Children, the rain-fed tanks, I am writing the word rain-fed means feeding means your mother feeds, our mother feeds us. Our motherland also feeds us. In the same way, the rain-fed tanks means, the tank means water bodies, you can say, tank, okay, lakes, you can say, where the water, main source of the water is rain. And rain-fed tanks that are so common in South India, alas means it is very sad, my dear friend, because it is negligence from not only the government but also from common people. We are neglecting. These are very important aspects. And alas, often so sadly neglected in their maintenance, are a cheering sight when they are for children. During summer days, people will not turn to these places because there is no water. But in the monsoon, in the rainy season that we are having today now, rainy season is a very important period of, you can say, time for the trees, for the nature, because the nature is evergreen during rainy season. It is, many poets have already described the motherland wearing the green sari during this monsoon. So water is very important aspect for that. Without water it is quite impossible. Children, in the South Indian agriculture, when we are talking about Andhra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu or even Karnataka, we are talking about these states. The agriculture mostly in India depends on rainwater. Am I right? The agriculture in India, the main occupation of the Indian people is agriculture, right? And Gandhiji has said 70% people live in the villages. 70%, more than 70% people live in the villages. So India is ultimately called the country of villages, right? So villages occupy a very important role in the development of the country, in terms of financial, in terms of social, economical, that is financial or political, right? They are sadly neglected. These cheering sites are there, right? During monsoon, the ponds, the little ponds are very beautiful. People go there to take photographs, to spend their weekends, they go there. But during summer time, has ever gone there? Has ever anyone maintained those tanks so that they will give them the more fruits in the monsoon? Children, still we have to do a lot of things. Okay. Then they are of course shallow. These ponds are not so deep like rivers. Okay, but this is less evident since the water is silt laden. Silt laden. Laden means, children, let me tell you, laden means the tree is laden with fruits, loaded with fruits. Silt laden. Silt means mud or soil. Mud or soil that is carried by. Why the sea water is salty, children? Because of this silt, or you can say this is continuously carried to the oceans and seas by the rivers, and because of that the sea water has become very salty because of the density also. A lot of things you can study. Friends, let me tell you one more thing. This silt laden and throws the light back, and the water does not therefore show. Why you can't see the bottom of these tanks, these water bodies? Because it is what color it takes. Probably it takes the color of the water and the color of the soil. The water takes the color of the soil everywhere, and the color of the soil differs from region to region. There are different types of rocks, there are different types of soils. Am I clear with? And so the color of the water differs from region to region. It will not be same. It depends on the color of the soil, because water is colorless. Water has no color of its own, but it takes the color when it mingles with the soil. It carries the soil. So during the rainy season, the river water or the water in the ponds is brown color. You can say the color of the soil. Children, and because of that, light does not go to the bottom, does not gets reflected back, because the bottom is not crystal clear. Okay, this thing is very common, because I am sure you all, most of the students are from the villages. They know this is very common, because if I have to explain these things to the people who are living in the metropolitan cities like Bangalore or Mumbai, Calcutta, they may not know what exactly the ponds are, what milking a cow is. So many things would be there. This is really a beauty of the village, and water is a very important aspect for it. Children, these tanks play a vital role in South Indian agriculture. I told you, South Indian agriculture depends on the rainwater. And not only rainwater, water irrigation is also a very important aspect. Preservation of the water, because whatever water comes from the sky as a rain, it must be stored, otherwise it will go deep into the crust of the earth and it will get vanished. Children, we need to, the irrigational department, also tries their best to preserve the water. There are so many NGOs are there, Pani Foundation, right? They are also struggling very hard, and they have transformed the villages. Many of the villages in Maharashtra or even in most of the parts of India have been transformed to a very beautiful site where there is a lot of water. Okay, children, in many villages people don't get drinking water. Forget about the water for other uses like washing your cars, cleaning your houses, or washing your utensils or clothes. Forget about that. It is very difficult for some people to get a clean water, so they have to drink the polluted, contaminated water. It is a very, you can say, sorrowful thing for every citizen of India and as a global citizen of the world as well. Children, some of these tanks are surprisingly large and it is a beautiful sight to see the sunrise or sunset over one of them. Children, I told you that in some of the parts of the country, the ponds will be larger, they will be lakes, they will be larger in size. And when it is a very cheerful sight, either to see the sunrise or sunset. So many people go there, they enjoy the beauty of the nature. Okay, so water has different roles to play. I am sure you are underlining every point. Write down each and every aspect. Then, water in a landscape may be compared to the eyes in a human face. Underline this. Simile is there. Which figure of speech is used here? It is compared to a eye in our face. I told you, if the earth is a face, then water is the eye. Without eyes, the face will not look beautiful. Right? Water in the sense, water bodies, small ponds, lakes. Landscape means surface area, It reflects the mood of the hour, being bright and gay when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is open. Children, very important aspect is that water changes the mood of the hour. Children, we all people are very moody, Many times we behave according to our moods. When we are happy, we smile, we greet the people, we dance. But when we are nervous, when we are angry, we react differently. In the same way, the mood of the hour, the mood of the hour means the mood of the nature also keeps changing with the water. During sunshine, how the water is reflecting, it is glittering, it is gleaming. But in the evening side, when the sky is overcast, write down, overcast means clouded, gay means cheerful, gloomy means dark. Gloomy means sad also. You can use the word gloomy for sad. Why are you looking gloomy today? You can ask your friend, why are you looking gloomy today? Gloomy means sad, gloomy means dark also. Okay? And overcast means clouded. Children, I hope till 5th paragraph everything is clear. Let me turn to the 6th paragraph. One of the most remarkable facts about water is its power to carry silt or finely divided soil in suspension. In suspension means in small particles, right on, in small particles. Children, have you observed the water when it is flowing, it carries the water that comes in its way, and ultimately the color of the water changes. This is the origin of the characteristic color of the water in rain-fed tanks. You will get a question. Why is the color of the rain-fed tanks is so? So you will get the answer that when the water is flowing, it ultimately carries the silt and it turns to the color according to its soil color. This color varies with the nature of the earth in the catchment area. Write down, children. Catchment area means where the rainfall is, the area where the rainfall is plentiful, the rainfall is enough, right? Opposite of plentiful is scanty. Scanty means very less, but I am talking about plentiful rainfall. And the most vivid means right down, clear, immediately after a fresh flowing rain. Children, when it is a fresh rainfall, the water will go to the pond or the river, and ultimately the color of the water will be different. The color will be not crystal clear, but after some time or after some hours, the water will become crystal clear because all the silt will get collected at the bottom of the ponds. Am I clear? Inflow means flow of the water. Swiftly means fast. Swiftly flowing water can carry fairly large and heavy particles. Children, you may know or may not know, the water has the power to carry even the cars and trucks. You have seen in the tsunami, the cars and trucks, how they were carried like toys of the children. So water, all the forces, not only water, the hurricanes also you have seen in America and all, most of the countries you have seen the hurricane, tornadoes, they also are destructive forces. Children, human power is nothing before the forces of the nature. You consider, I hope you watched on the YouTube these all forces, how destructive, earthquake, tsunami. I am talking about tsunami. When tsunami occurs in Indonesia, that was really a destructive incident, right? Probably in 2004, isn't it? Then, the water does not always carry the fine particles, but the water carries very large particles of the soil, and that is not good for any area, because it will ultimately take all the rich deposit from that area to another area, isn't it? Okay. And the finest particles, however, can remain floating within the liquid in spite of their greater density, and are of course extremely small, but their number is also great. Children, these particles, 5 particles, are carried in great number by the water. Okay, but even though they remain in the water, even though their density is great because of the flow of the water, right? As I told you, water is very destructive, water is very powerful, isn't it? So friends, hope you have understood up to there. Now let us 10 minutes we will interact. Okay. Hello friends. Hello children. Okay. Hope everything is clear to you.